It was one of those nights, the kind where my mind wouldn't stop racing, no matter how many deep breaths I took or how many times I told myself to relax. I was 42 years old, a mother of two, a wife, a daughter to aging parents, and a professional trying to keep up in a fast-paced world. But that night, I felt like I was failing at all of it. The weight of my responsibilities pressed down on me, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was running on empty. I was tired. Not just physically, but deep in my soul. I slipped out of bed, careful not to wake my husband, and grabbed my sneakers. I needed air. I needed space. I needed to quiet the noise in my head. The city was quiet at this hour, the streets bathed in the soft glow of streetlights. I walked aimlessly, my thoughts swirling like a storm, and then I saw it. A small, hidden park I had passed countless times but never entered. Tonight, the gate was slightly ajar, as if it had been waiting for me. I stepped inside, and the moment I did, I felt it. A sense of calm I hadn't felt in years. The park was a lush, serene garden, filled with winding paths, blooming flowers, and the gentle sound of a bubbling fountain. The air smelled of jasmine and fresh earth, and the chaos of the city seemed to fade away. I took a deep breath and let myself wander. The garden was divided into different sections, each one holding a special kind of magic. In the first section, I found a field of golden sunflowers, their faces turned toward the moonlight. I reached out to touch one, and as my fingers brushed its petals, I felt a warm, comforting sensation. Memories flooded my mind. My children's laughter, my best friend's encouraging texts, my husband's quiet support during tough days. The sunflower seemed to whisper, "You are surrounded by love, even when you don't see it. You are loved deeply and abundantly." Tears filled my eyes as I realized how much love I had in my life, even if it often felt overshadowed by my worries. I moved on and came to a grove of ancient trees, their branches forming a canopy above me. Beneath the trees, I saw a circle of women sitting together, sharing stories and laughter. They were women of all ages, each one radiant in her own way. One of them, a woman with silver hair and kind eyes, gestured for me to join them. I hesitated. I hadn't taken time for myself in so long. But something about her smile made me sit down. As I listened to their stories, I realized these women were just like me, juggling careers, families, and personal dreams, yet still finding moments to connect and uplift one another. The silver-haired woman leaned over and said, "Friendship is a gift that grows with time. You are never alone, even when it feels that way." I felt a deep sense of belonging, a reminder that my friendships, old and new, were a source of strength I could always lean on. The next section of the garden was a meadow filled with wildflowers of every color. In the center stood a large oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside, I found a collection of books, journals, and even a laptop. I picked up a journal and flipped through its pages, filled with sketches, poems, and ideas. A sense of wonder stirred within me. I had always wanted to learn pottery, to write a novel, to take that online course on photography, but I had told myself I was too old or too busy. The oak tree seemed to whisper, "You are never too old to learn, to grow, to dream. Your potential is limitless." I felt a spark of excitement I hadn't felt in years. Maybe it wasn't too late to try something new. Finally, I reached the heart of the garden, where a crystal clear pond reflected the stars above. As I sat there, I realized that the garden had been given me a precious gift, a reminder of the abundance in my life. I had love from my family, my friends, and even from myself. I had friendship, a network of support that would always be there for me. And I had the ability to learn, to grow, and to dream, no matter my age or circumstances. When I finally stood to leave, I felt lighter, as if a burden had been lifted. I walked back to my apartment with a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. I knew life would still be busy, but I also knew I didn't have to carry it all alone. I could lean on my loved ones, nurture my friendship, and make time for my own dreams. That night, as I climbed into bed, I felt a deep sense of peace. I closed my eyes, knowing that I was abundant in all the way that mattered. And with that thought, I drifted off to sleep, ready to embrace the beauty of my life, just as it was.